babies.
All right, let's do the Patriots talk because the departure of Frosty could be at any point in time now. So let's get to the Patriots talk and that over under, which is not in here. So let's start with that. Let's get the predictions on Frosty. Why don't you go ahead and repeat what you said here before the headlines, the over unders that we're looking at.
Yeah, so knowing that the Patriots are putting in a new scheme without any coaches that have any experience putting in said scheme, I took a look at their over-under for the season wins. Always interesting, right? They're the Patriots. They're Bill Belichick. They get tons of respect, especially in Vegas. Vegas doesn't disrespect the Patriots. Their over-under for the wins is at 8.5, meaning, do you think they're going over 500 or under 500? And despite them saying they're 2% away today, was that one of the quotes I had? They're 2% away.
Mac might have alluded to that.
Yeah,
numbers guy. He's a numbers guy.
Yeah, the under 8.5 wins is plus odds, and maybe that's meant to entice some of Frosty's money to go towards DraftKings.
Don't do it, Frosty. Don't do it.
Fuck that! It worked. $50, $50 on the under. Patriots are not going over 500 this year.
Okay, so we here's what I'm interested in. I want to hear your prediction, Ray, but everyone's wrong on predictions. So what does that say to you? So for the Brady years, you could have bought a house on the over-unders that they put on the Patriots for about a decade. It was always at 10 or 11, and they always got 12. Like, it was a fucking lock. Yep. So you could have bought a house on that. So now you're at 8.5. You got an extra game. Like you said, Dan, you're talking about a 500 team. Are the Patriots a 500 team? Tells me Vegas doesn't know what the fuck they are. Tells me Vegas has no idea what to expect of the Patriots, but they believe Bill Belichick can drag a team with what they consider to be 500 at least talent to a 500 team. That's what that tells me. And that's kind of been my sentiment basically all along. And then we get to camp, and every single report that we hear,
every beat guy,
they can't talk about anything else other than the fact that the offense is abysmal, and they have not come close to figuring out the blocking scheme with this new offensive scheme that they are looking to do. And that's what it is. Let's boil it down to really what the problem is, Ray. It's the offensive line, and they can't figure out the blocking scheme with this new offensive scheme, and Matt Patricia is in charge of all of it. So that's all to you. So your opinion on the over-under and Matt Patricia getting them over that hump.
Oh, I'm fucking going all over. I'd put a lot of money on the over. I think they're going to be a 10-win team easily. I mean, if you look at their schedule, it's kind of cupcake. You got the Dolphins, Steelers, Ravens, and Packers the first 4 weeks. I think you could go 3-1 easily on that first stint.
I'm just going to stop you.
Why?
I just want to inform and ask you about your level of homerism going on right now.
Packers
Are you
have
at like a
Packers
75,
have 0
75, 85%?
I'm going 60%.
You're in Green Bay.
Who's your
lost
who's
to
your
the
receiver?
Dolphins?
Who's your receiver?
6 out of the last 7 times?
Who's your receiver that's going to beat you in Green Bay?
All of them.
Lazard.
All of them.
I disagree.
What cornerback is going to stop a wide receiver in the NFL this year for the Patriots?
Aaron Jones will have 3 touchdowns against us. They won't need a receiver.
I said 3-1, so that could be your one loss. But you got Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a quarterback, who they all reports.
I'll give you Pittsburgh.
Out.
It sounds like Trubisky is a full-on trash can walking.
Baltimore, Lamar Jackson is the
Baltimore's going to be sneaky fucking good. Lamar Jackson's going to own you in that game, especially when your offense sucks balls in the first quarter of the season. Go on, Ray. Sorry to interrupt you, but let's go on from that, and then
you want to go for the next 4? You got the
no, just continue. Go from there.
Okay. I mean, the next 4, you got the Lions suck. Browns without
I don't want to do actually, Ray, fuck you. I don't want to do the win-loss, right? I'm not looking for the win-loss. I'm looking for a general conception of how you think I think
our schedule is easy, and we're gonna fall into
you believe that because the schedule is easy, a schedule that you deem easy, which is not, that they will be above 500. You don't put any stock. You're not putting any stock into the actual fucking question that I asked. That the offense, the new offense that they're
He's gonna figure
implementing
it
with
out.
skinny fucking Ray, that is not a problem to you.
No,
That's
because
not a
you know
problem
why?
for
You know why? Because when we had Cam Newton, what did we figure out? We're gonna fucking run. And what has this offensive line figured out in the past couple of days at camp? Run. So if Mac Jones can't fucking figure out this offense, fucking hand the ball to Ramadan Ding Dong Stevenson or Damian Harris and fucking just run the ball down everyone's throat. Do it,
Dan. I'm going to go to you because, by all accounts, from everybody on that, and I'll pull it up here. I have many tweets, but for everybody on the field there, it's not necessarily a Mac Jones problem. It's mainly an offensive line problem.
That they figured out today.
Am I wrong?
They figured out today.
Wait, the team that couldn't have 3 consecutive days of padded practices just they cracked the code. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
wasn't today non-competitive too? Wasn't
Fuck
it?
you. No.
Every day's been non-competitive, Rich. It's the friggin' Pats this year.
Apologies, Dan. Apologies. Give me your opinion on the offense here. What do you think? What's the solution? What's the game plan? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? Why are they doing it? Just give me you're new on the show. What's your overall conception here of the offense?
That they should have brought in an actual guy with experience putting that scheme in. This isn't like the McVay playbook for dummies, and Patricia can read this because he's got a pencil in his ear and can figure it out because he's a scientist or whatever. Like this just doesn't work. And the hubris of Bill Belichick right now to not have a coordinator and to throw that, and like people say, oh, I'm not going to have a coordinator. And like, it's insane. It's not quite on the level of insanity of the Red Sox not knowing which direction they're going, but he's just like, he's being contrarian to be contrarian now. Like, He's always been a dick. He's always been like short-lipped with all of his questions and answers, but now he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to collect a few more bucks, and then, maybe he thought McDaniels was going to be his successor before the guy bounced to Las Vegas. I have no idea. So now he's scrambling because he knows it can't be, lick your lips. The snow just hit my face. His son, Steve Belichick, like,
I know,
but no coordinators. And you bring back 2 guys that were laughing stocks in the league with not only Matt Patricia, but Joe Judge. And you bring them in because you're Patriots guys, but then you don't go back and you don't implement the old Patriot system. So what's going to happen is if this doesn't work after 6 games, maybe they're battling 500, maybe they're 2-4, who knows? But I think they might just revert, throw the whole thing out, and go back to what they know. But then Josh McDaniels isn't there, and they're going to have problems doing that. And the guys, this is just going to be a bad season. And I mean, last year I wasn't all in on the Patriots either, and they proved me wrong because they pulled off all these wins in a row, and everyone thought they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then it turns out they can't play against the real competition, much like the Red Sox in the AL East. So there's no solution right now. But honestly, like they're just middling. They have a loyal fan base. I'm going to be rooting for them. Like, even though my money is literally on the under, I'm going to be rooting for them every Sunday because I don't know any better. But they don't have the allure of Tom Brady to cover up all of these deficiencies. And there's too many deficiencies. They've got, we're not going to be good for the next, not only this year or like the year after. Like, I see a couple decades of futility. We're going back to, we had our dynasty. We had the greatest run in professional sports history in Boston, and now we have to pay for it with our teams.
Yeah, I've been saying it for years. The back end of my life's going to suck as a sports fan, and maybe we're looking at it. But I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't know if they're going to be that. But I do believe Bill Belichick is still a really good football coach. I think if you go 7-9 with the corpse of Cam Newton, you're a good football coach. Getting to the playoffs last year was good. He to your exact point, he watched what was happening the first 4 weeks, and it didn't. And he took over what he needed to, and then after the bye week, gave that defense back to his son, and it went to shit. And that was a problem. And yeah, he created another problem with this offense here. So let's see how far his greatness can reach. That being said, I think they're a 9-8 team.
Maybe, but
I think Mac Jones is good enough.
Games.
I think they got enough talent on the roster. I think they're a 9-8 team. That doesn't say anything to anything to what you're talking about. But just in terms of the over-under, I would hit the over. I hit the over on the 8.5.
Yeah, no, and there's a reason that they put plus odds probably on the under to entice a simpleton like me, simple mind like me. I see the plus odds.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah. Hey, when I put together my parlays, I'm not looking for, the minus 180s. I'm looking for plus odds. But like their last 6 games, right, goes versus Buffalo, at Arizona, at Las Vegas, versus Cincinnati, versus Miami, at Buffalo.
Ooh, I forgot you got to play the top 5 quarterback in the NFL and Joe Burrow in the last 6 weeks in the NFL.
They're gonna be
like that. But January 1st versus Miami, that game won't go well. It never goes well for us. That late season game against Miami, I don't think it's going to go well.
Yeah,
unless the wheels fall off in Miami this year with Tua, which they easily could. So I could be wrong.
I'll give you that on Miami. It's a new coach. Flores had your number. I'll just play the long-term odds on that one. But the greater overarching point on this is, I think you brought it up, is Belichick's motivations and what is he thinking? Is he really just mailing it in and just going, I want to try some shit. I don't want to pay a lot of people. So the reports are that coaches' salaries come out of his purse. Right? So it's like if he gets $35 million for a coaching staff, he can take whatever he wants and then pay out to the rest of the coaching staff. So is he just being a greedy cunt? And the Giants are playing Patricia, and the Giants are playing Judge, and the Lions are playing Patricia. So let's go. It's hard. I don't know. I think he's motivated by Mac Jones. I think he likes Mac Jones. I think that he feels like he can coach a Mac Jones offense. I think he feels like he has some good talent. I think he spent a shit ton of money 2 years ago to bring in good talent. It just, in my heart of hearts, I think that he has good motivation. However, I don't see the concept and the logic of putting in a new fucking system when you drafted a guy to run your old system in Mac Jones and he was good at it. And now it seems like he's frustrated running this bullshit system. Yeah.
It's.
I don't think there's a lot of answers out there right now. I think from people that follow the team, report on the team, or fans of the team, the only way we're going to be able to see
September 18th.
What the solution is Game not even then. January 1st. Talk to me then. Fucking talk to me then. With a Belichick team, they're going to mold, they're going to evolve, they're going to do different things. Talk to me on January 1st. If they're not running the zone scheme on the offensive line at some point in the season, you'll know that it was a mistake. Until then, it's hard. It's really hard to predict that. I'll give you a prediction. I'll tell you that it's probably a mistake. It's probably a mistake with the type of players that you have on the team, but I'm not going to say it won't work to some capacity.
I think the mistake is that they haven't brought in the right people to coach. All they need is a guy that's like a LaFleur type. Obviously, you're not a Green Bay, but get a McVay disciple that has been around this for a few years. A guy that's been around Shanahan for a few years has actually done this. And I think we would have been better off than we are now. But instead, maybe the analogy to the coaches and how much you pay, and hey, if we don't have a coordinator, I don't have to pay as much money because you're a line coach and you're not a coordinator, and now I get a few extra bucks. But that means, to me, I used to think Belichick's motivation was winning without Brady, because so many people, for one reason or another, think that this was all due to one. I don't. I think it's the pair. If we only had one and not the other, it doesn't work. Either way. However, now I have to question, is his motivation actually winning? Because I don't see definitely not a contending team, maybe a competitive team, but if they were competitive, you don't get whitewashed by the freaking Buffalo Bills in the playoffs like that. Force a punt.
I get you, but I have a couple points, 2 points in that, and I won't try to go long. This is not white wine night, Ray, but it is drinking night because you told me not to drink. The Belichick motivations is top of my mind right now, and it's really interesting to me. Here's what I've come to: he's just gonna give a fuck. He just doesn't give a fuck. I don't think he fucking cares. I think he's doing what he thinks is right, or what he thinks is as right to as close as what he wants to do. And then in terms of fighting for records or anything like that, I don't know. I don't quite know if he cares.
Can I throw something at you?
Go ahead.
What if we make the playoffs? Do you think that would be the biggest swinging dick move that he could say? Be like, look at all you guys doubted me all year long. I couldn't do it with Matt Patricia, Joe Judge. Look at me now. I'm in the playoffs. Even if he doesn't win one, just making it to the playoffs, you'd fucking throw that thing out and be like, suck it, all of you. I think that's what he is.
Yeah, maybe he's definitely had a contrarian personality his entire career. He's definitely done things just to do them as a contrarian point because he thinks he's
the smartest guy in the room.
I think his general managing skills have undermined him a lot of ways in the way that he wants to coach, and he might be looking at that now. But if you look at the roster, the talent's a playoff roster. The talent's a playoff roster. It's a borderline playoff roster. The other point I was going to make on the Bills thing, they lost Dayball. Dayball fucking owned Belichick. Dayball owned Belichick in the scheme. So let's see how Josh Allen up there does without Dayball calling his fucking shots. And I lost my last train of thought on the last point of the Patriots. So I'll give it to you, Frosty. Last point on the Patriots before we move on to the Bruins.
Yeah, the Patriots are. I feel better about the Patriots than I do the Red Sox. But
I figured it out. Sorry, Frosty.
Bring it in.
Right, I got the Bills, Belichick's motivation for holding all the money, and this is specifically for you. And you need to answer me honestly.
Is this a fat joke?
Not quite.
Okay.
Does Linda have fake breasts?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, you don't have the X. You know what? If nothing else, we're a show of accuracy, so I'm gonna need you to figure that out. Okay, and then maybe it's a saving up situation for the best breasts possible for Linda.
Keep talking for a moment.
Okay. Well,
but wait a second. Do you know what a good set of tits costs, Rich?
I gotta tell you, I don't have a.
These things are
don't
fake.
Say that. Don't say that.
Fake. These are fake.
I don't have a clue.
They're $5,000, $7,500.
Is that it?
That's it.
Shit. Okay.
So that can't be it.
And I'm looking at these right now.
What if they're laced in gold?
Nope, they're fucking definitely fake already.
What if they're filled with gold bullion just for?
What if he's stashing some of the cash in her tits?
He's actually he's put Bitcoin in there. There's Bitcoin in there.
Yeah, he's mining Bitcoin in Linda's boobs like an offshore account.
Just purrs Ethereum as he's grabbing at her.
Every time he flicks the nip, he gets a deposit of fucking G.
I'm gonna send you this picture real quick, Richard. You keep talking, but I want you to tell me whose breasts are bigger.
Okay. You got it. Yours? Are you gonna give me yours?
No.
Quick break. We'll be right back to talk about the Bruins.